This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. The Defense Force investigating claims of abuse. Prime Minister says still no report from the Immigration Commission, and shanty towns to be cleared. Plus, we're talking with the JCNP about the way forward for Junkanoo. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, July 31st, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. That discussion with the JCNP will continue in our 8 o'clock hour into our business hour. And that's all ahead. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force is investigating allegations that children who took part in its Rangers program were abused during a summer camp in Eleuthera. National Security Minister Wayne Rose saying that the allegations are concerning. He said it's important that how this is addressed and that a criminal complaint was made. Defense Force Commodore Floyd Moxey telling the Tribune that a Defense Force intelligence team will be deployed to Freeport, where the parents of one of the abused children lives. Moxey also said that a Marine was confined to the base but eventually released. A mother that came forward and spoke to the newspaper claimed her son and other Rangers were also beaten in their sleep, and that an officer made one of the boys expose himself and masturbate in front of the other boys. In a statement on its Facebook page, the Defense Force said, quote, a thorough investigation has been initiated and the individual in question has been removed from duties pending the outcome. In addition to this, a police investigation has been launched and the Commander Defense Force has convened a board of inquiry to determine what, if any, impropriety occurred. It said the Defense Force is committed to ensuring appropriate processes are followed and remains committed to upholding accountability. Anglican MP Glenys Hannah Martin says that the Parliamentary Committee on Privilege ruled that F&M MPs Shannon Dawn Cartwright and Adrian White must apologize to the House over their actions in two separate incidents. As relates to Cartwright, Hannah Martin said he accused South and Central Andros MP Leon Lundy of misleading the House after a back and forth between the two over water supply rates and charges. Hannah Martin saying in the House yesterday that Lundy requested that Cartwright withdraw his statement, but that he refused, and after more MPs became engaged in the argument, The Deputy Speaker referred the issue to the Committee on Privilege, and that the committee found the words used by the member for St. Barnabas, Cartwright, to be unfounded or unsupported and unwarranted in the circumstance. Hannah Martin said the committee met on July 23rd and that she, Carmichael MP Keith Bell, and Central Grand Bahama MP Iram Lewis were present for the meeting, while Cartwright and Southern Shores MP Leroy Major were absent. With the incident concerning White, Hannah Martin says the committee found that he deliberately attempted to harm the reputation of Pinewood MP Miles LaRota when he displayed a poster featuring a large image of LaRota's face next to a smaller picture of another cabinet minister's car parked in a disabled spot. She said LaRota complained about the matter the following day, and the matter was referred to the Committee on Privilege, and the committee felt that the design of the poster was a deliberate attempt to bring the minister's reputation into odium and contempt. And Martin also saying yesterday that her Ministry of Education, is working closely with other government entities to produce student IDs and security IDs in an effort to enforce security measures at public schools throughout the country. During the budget debate in June, Hannah Martin said that the ministry would soon introduce sterile zones at public schools so that only individuals authorized by school executives would be allowed entry. The Court of Appeal ruling Wednesday that a retired judge's decision to award $575,000 in damages to Daheen Nonard was invalid, and it was delivered almost 3 years after the judge left office. The decision by a full panel of 5 appellate court justices in a split decision of 4-1 found that Justice Ruth Bo Darville's decision was unconstitutional and invalid. As a consequence, Nonard's lawsuit against the government alleging a breach of her constitutional right to have her application for citizenship decided within a reasonable time will have to be heard by a new judge. While still holding office, Bo Darville heard arguments concerning Nonard's application in February 2021 and reserved her decision. She retired from office on December 3rd, 2021 without delivering her decision. The judgment was delivered on August 2nd, 2024 by the Chief Justice. In her judgment, Bo Darville awarded Nonard $575,000 in damages for constitutional breaches concerning the 6-year delay by the Immigration Department in considering her application for citizenship. The government appealed the decision. However, the appellate court quashed the judgment on the preliminary issue of whether Bo Darville still had the authority to carry out judicial functions after her retirement. Justices of Appeal Stella Crane Scott, Sir Ian Winder, Indra Charles, and Gregory Smith ruled that the decision was invalid, while Justice of Appeal Bernard Turner dissented. The Supreme Court unanimously convicting a man of 2 counts of armed robbery. As a result of the jury's decision, Justice Franklin Williams KC remanded John Demerit into custody pending sentencing yesterday. The penalty phase of the trial is expected to begin on October 29th. Prosecutors allege that on May 28, 2017, Demerit robbed Onette Dean of $2,000, the property of Bet Vegas, and robbed Dean of a brown bag containing $215 cash and her passport and NIB card. Demerit confessed to the crime when questioned by the police, but at his trial, he alleged that his admission followed beatings by investigators. In the confession, Demerit said he was walking past Bet Vegas when he saw the security guard sitting outside with his hand under his chin. Demerit viewed him as this is a good opportunity and entered the establishment after the security guard buzzed him in. According to Demerit, he went to the bathroom, and after several minutes, he came out brandishing a shotgun, which he fired, resulting in damage to the cashier's cage. Demerit said he passed a pillow to the guard and demanded cash before fleeing the establishment. Prime Minister Philip Davis says that the government has yet to obtain a draft report from the Immigration Commission after announcements were made in June that the Commission had completed the draft. Prime Minister telling reporters yesterday that they've not handed it in as yet, saying, quote, "I know that they are still working on it." The commission was first announced in 2023. Davis outlined the responsibilities of the commission, stating that it would oversee procedures, protocols, and decision-making within the Department of Immigration, while aiding in the modernization and reform of the department through recommendations. 2 years later, the Immigration Commission has yet to publicize any significant progress. And shantytown demolitions will take place in New Providence in the coming weeks after close to 200 eviction notices were given out by officials. Minister of Works and Family Islands Affairs Clay Sweeting confirming this as part of the government's efforts to remove shantytowns throughout the country. He says teams will be in Andros next week to assess shantytowns on that island, and following those assessments, demolitions will occur in 2 sites in New Providence. Overseas, Canada will recognize a Palestinian state in September. That's according to Prime Minister Mark Carney. The latest in a series of symbolic announcements that are part of a broader global shift against Israel's policies in Gaza. Carney convened a cabinet meeting to discuss the situation in the battered Palestinian territory. He said it came after he discussed the crisis with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who announced a similar move on Tuesday. Leaders are under mounting pressure over the issue as scenes of hunger in Gaza have horrified so many across the world. Carney saying that, quote, the level of human suffering in Gaza is intolerable. He said Canada intends to recognize the state of Palestine at the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly in September, a move that he said was predicated on the Palestinian Authority holding general elections in 2026, in which Hamas can play no part, and to demilitarize the Palestinian state. Carney says he's not in any way, shape, or form minimizing the scale of the task, though he added that it was clearly not a possibility in the near term. And Puerto Rico's governor declaring a state of emergency and activating the National Guard after thousands of homes were left without water. Nearly 180,000 customers were affected at the peak of the outage late last week. As of yesterday, nearly 3,000 customers were still without water, including nearly a dozen hotels. The problem has angered many of the residents of the island of 3.2 million people, especially because the State Water and Sewer Authority has declined to name the company responsible for damaging a main water line while repairing a road last week. Municipal officials have set up water distribution points and have gone home to home to distribute drinking water, with the National Guard now expected to help with those duties. The governor also named a special coordinator charged with stabilizing the water system, investigating the Water and Sewer Authority, and determining how the incident occurred. It's expected to issue a report in the next 10 days. Again, as many as 11 hotels are without water and residents without service. Time for sports, brought to you by Kalik. It's a little later than usual on the calendar, but the B3A's Open National Track and Field Championships are full steam ahead, set for this weekend, Friday and Saturday, at the original Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. The two-day meet will be held under the theme It's Showtime and gets underway at 6 p.m. Friday, 5 p.m. Saturday. 100 athletes are registered to compete. According to B3A's Vice President of Technical Operations, Tito Moss, the reason for the late hosting is simply because the World Championships are late on the calendar as well. The date of the Senior Nationals corresponds with the late hosting of the World Championships to ensure peak performances of Bahamian athletes heading to the global meet. Bahamian Olympian Lamar Taylor jump-started his experience at the 2025 World Aquatics Championships by setting a new national record in the men's 100 meters freestyle at the World Aquatics Championships in Singapore, competing out of lane 6 in Heat 9. Taylor swam a new national record of 48.52 seconds. He finished first in the preliminary round and also shaved his personal best and national record of 48.84 seconds. Overall, he finished 22nd out of 110 swimmers. Read more about that in today's Guardian Sports section. Former NBA star Gilbert Arenas arrested Wednesday along with 5 other people, including a suspected member of an Israeli organized crime group, on suspicion of hosting illegal high-stakes poker games at a Los Angeles mansion owned by Arenas. All 6 defendants are charged with 1 count of conspiracy to operate an illegal gambling business and 1 count of operating an illegal gambling business, according to a statement from the U.S. Attorney's Office. They're all scheduled to be arraigned. They were all scheduled to be arraigned Wednesday afternoon. The 43-year-old Arenas is also charged with making false statements to federal investigators. He's named in the indictment as Agent Zero, a nickname from his playing days with the Washington Wizards. Arenas appeared in court Wednesday afternoon in downtown Los Angeles and was released on a $50,000 bond after pleading not guilty to the charges. His trial is set for September 23rd. And Hall of Fame tight end turned broadcaster Shannon Sharpe will not return to ESPN, according to a person with knowledge of the decision, speaking to Associated Press. The decision comes less than 2 weeks after Sharpe resolved the lawsuit that accused him of sexually assaulting a woman during their relationship. The person spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity. Sharpe's last appearance on ESPN was in late April when the lawsuit was filed in Nevada. No details of the settlement were released. The lawsuit has sought $50 million. The 57-year-old Sharpe called the accusations false and disruptive and said that they were levied and hoped to return in time for the NFL season to ESPN. Instead, ESPN opted to move on from the brash 4-time All-Pro tight end who won 3 Super Bowl titles during his 14-year career. That's sports. Brought to you by Kalik and Pop the Top, back in bigger than ever. Kalik, the beer of the Bahamas, giving away up to $200,000 in cash and prizes. Purchase your favorite Kalik beer and look under the cap. You could be a winner. Free Kalik beer, free merch, or cold hard cash could be yours just for drinking Kalik. Kalik reminds you to drink responsibly, babe. Got your first look at weather for this morning, brought to you by Star General. We've got a heat advisory again in effect for the northern and northwest Bahamas between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Expect excessive heat values within the lower range of the triple digits today. Deep layered ridging across the area will continue to support light to moderate winds and mostly stable conditions across most of the islands, while a weak surface trough near the southeast Bahamas will generate a few showers in that area. So that surface trough near the southeast Bahamas will gradually dissipate while lifting northwest, and high pressure will continue to remain the dominant weather feature of the next few days. So again, we're expecting another hot day. UV and heat indices are going to be in the very high range, and you will need to limit outdoor activities if you can, and hydrate and take frequent breaks. Your forecast for today, for most areas, a mix of sun and clouds today, becoming fair at night, a 10 to 20% chance of isolated showers. Wind southeast to south at 10 knots or less, falling light and variable at times. For the northern and northwest Bahamas, East to southeast at 10 to 15 knots for the Central Islands, and easterly at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts for the southeast Bahamas, especially for areas south of Inagua with the gusts. High temperatures today, we're looking at highs again around 93 Fahrenheit, especially for the northern islands, maybe 91, 92 for the central and southeast Bahamas. That's around 33, 34 Celsius, and the heat index will make you feel like it's 106 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 81, 82 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook and a look at the tropics coming up in just a bit. This weather check brought to you by Star General Insurance, made simple.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new
You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Throughout history, from bartering in ancient markets to the invention of paper currency, convenience has been at the heart of the way we pay. As time marched on, so have we, from barter to cash and cash to digital. Whether you pay with an online bank transfer, digital wallet, or contactless card, with digital payments, options abound. The world never stops evolving, and neither should you. Choose freedom, choose flexibility, choose convenience. The future of pay is digital. Visit us online at livedigitalbahamas.com and on social media.
What makes a hero? Someone who makes a difference in their community. Someone who has performed an extraordinary act of bravery or kindness. Someone who touches lives without recognition. Does this sound like someone you know? Through the CIBC Caribbean Unsung Heroes program, you can nominate your unsung hero for recognition. Nominations should be in one of 2 categories: outstanding work in the community and act of heroism. Send nominations to unsung heroes at CIBCFCIB.com on or before July 31st, 2025.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us, because we've got you covered.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, Air, the Athlete's Foot, and BTC, Games and More, John Bull Fine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's Clarkson Island Lock, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/conditions apply.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
We're back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Coming up this morning, we are scheduled to have the JCNP, the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence, with us. Representatives to talk about how they feel about that proposed National Junkanoo Authority and why they've called for a suspension of most Junkanoo activities while they give their feedback on this. We'll have them explain everything and where we go from here. That's all ahead for this morning. But right now, it's time to talk about what else is in the news. And in the news, we told you about this yesterday, this very disturbing information. And the Defense Force confirming it is investigating this. In today's National Guardian, our LaTanya Roberts writing about it. The Royal Bahamas Defense Force is investigating allegations that children who took part in its Rangers program were abused during a summer camp in Eleuthera. Minister of National Security Wayne Monroe saying yesterday that the allegations are concerning. He told reporters outside Parliament, quote, anytime you have a default by somebody in a position of authority, it is disturbing. Be it a police officer, defense force, Marine, a pastor, teacher, any default with regard to children, young people is disturbing. What is important is how one addresses it, and a criminal complaint was made. I discovered from the Defense Force's statement that they have a detention period in the Defense Force of 8 days, whereas in the civilian area, it's just 5 days. They've investigated it, and they're going to have a board of inquiry. So Defense Force Commodore Floyd Moxey told the Tribune that a Defense Force intelligence team will be deployed to Freeport, where the parents of one of the abused children lives. Moxey also said that a Marine was confined to the base but eventually released. A mother that came forward and spoke to the Tribune claimed her son and other Rangers were also beaten in their sleep, and that an officer made one of the boys expose himself and masturbate in front of the other boys. In a statement on its Facebook page, the Defense Force saying, quote, a thorough investigation has been initiated and the individual in question has been removed from duties pending the outcome. In addition to this, a police investigation has been launched and the Commander Defense Force has convened a board of inquiry to determine what, if any, impropriety occurred. It says that the Defense Force is committed to ensuring appropriate processes are followed and remains committed to upholding accountability. Let's get your reaction to that. There's more from Wayne Monroe on this, but we'll read that in a bit. But let's hear from you on this. We talked about this yesterday briefly. People mentioned that this seems to be the way we think we discipline young people. Someone mentioned the shock treatment show and how this harsh language and getting physical with people does something. I'm sure some agree, but plenty others think it is counterintuitive and counterproductive. But let's get your reaction. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Callers, we'll get to you in just a bit. Just want to read a little bit of what Wayne Monroe also said. This is in the Tribune today. National Security Minister Wayne Monroe says the Royal Bahamas Defense Force should not be judged by the misconduct of one or two people, but by how the organization responds and protects against future failures, a principle guiding the inquiry into alleged abuse at this summer's Rangers camp in Eleuthera. Monroe telling reporters, quote, you judge an organization not by whether one or two people are delinquent, but how the organization deals with matters and how it fails to or succeeds in safeguarding against them. He said the Defense Force's Board of Inquiry is not only investigating the conduct of a Marine accused of abusing participants, but is also assessing whether command oversight and internal systems broke down. He said the purpose of that, over and above dealing with that, with what the Marine officer has done, is to examine the systems that operate, to work out how this was able to happen in the first place, look at the people who had command authority at the event, and make changes so it does not happen again. So that camp, held June 30th through July 19th, has prompted police and military investigations following reports of physical assaults, forced consumption of toilet water, and sexually inappropriate behavior by a supervising officer. Okay, let's get your reaction. Let's go to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
Hey, Dwight, can you recall a conversation I had with you during the pandemic when I saw the two officers made two students, maybe from UB, on a Sunday when they made them do push-ups on the roundabout? You could call me, mention that to you during the pandemic.
No, I actually don't, but refresh our memories.
Okay, it was during the lockdown when everybody was supposed to be in the house. And the patrol car caught these two students. I don't know if they were doing some study somewhere, but one was dropping the other one home. And the police stopped them at the roundabout by Stapleton, and he made them do push-ups.
This was after curfew or something?
No, that's during the curfew. That's during the lockdown.
During the curfew, okay.
Yeah, during the curfew. And I saw them made the two students do push-ups on the side of the road, and then they let the boy drove the car around the roundabout, let the girl walk around the roundabout, and the boy pick up. Yeah.
That's crazy.
You remember that?
I know. I probably blocked that out because that's disturbing.
Only thing I regret, I didn't take their photo with the phone, okay? But I saw it myself. So that seemed to be a culture with many of these either police or defense force officers based, the way they treat kids or the way they show their power.
Okay, wow.
But I witnessed that, okay?
All right.
And I thought that was abusive.
Well,
they made them do push-ups on the road.
That's a little crazy. Thank you very much.
Okay?
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm sure plenty of people wish that was all they got from certain people. Wow. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Dwight. I'm sure you could remember a situation in Inagua. I think he was a mechanic, an officer who went out to the bar, had a few drinks. When he came back, they beat him. Then he was reported to the senior, and then they beat him again. Then they left him in Inagua to find his way home by himself. Do you remember that?
I do remember that one. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there seems to be inside his organization a torture mentality in order to get you to become, I don't know what they want you to become, but I know there are some conditions that people are subjected to within some controlled environment. Like a family member told me, preparing for Vietnam, they weren't told that the rattlesnake wasn't a rattlesnake, but they had to lie still and allow the snake to crawl across them or else they'd be bitten.
Right.
Now, the snake was not a poisonous snake. But knowing this defense force, they may actually probably use a real poisonous snake in order to torture people.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far.
I wouldn't go that far.
But I hear you. And you know what? I think, sadly, a lot of people who get into these organizations believe, based on what they've heard or experienced themselves or seen on TV or movies, that this is what you do. This is what you do. You got to get these guys tough so they can handle anything. And
you got to break them.
you know, I don't know if this is really very effective, and I don't know.
Doing it to children.
Right.
Yes, that's where you got my attention.
Yeah, it's scary. Thank you very much. All right. I don't know. I know. Well, I do know. This doesn't make sense. This is not effective. And they may be disciplined when they do their functions on the base or wherever it is and stand up 100% straight and wake up at the right time and do everything militarily excellent. But what's happening behind the eyes, right? Are they still humans? Are they able to function as humans in the natural environment after this? After you get them to conform during training? And that's the problem, and that's the concern. So perfect for on-duty work, but how are they as a human being after you do this kind of stuff? What say you, though? I know we love corporal punishment in this country. It's a pastime for some. I'm sure many of you disagree. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Still trying to understand what the toilet water thing is all about. That's really, 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 really disturbing. And the sexual inappropriateness, that just, what is going on there? Again, Wayne Monroe says don't judge the organization by just what one or two people might have accomplished, but they seem to have been in some senior roles or positions that could really influence and impact some people's lives, and that's concerning. But we will see. We hardly ever find out the results of these inquiries and investigations. We have to keep asking. Sometimes we even forget there was one. Years later, will we ever know? We'll see. We'll see. Continue to send in your messages. All right, so the other story that's catching my eye in the Tribune today, former Prime Minister Hubert Minnis. Ban fast food on family islands. The former Prime Minister says unhealthy habits leading to obesity crisis in the country. But only for the family islands? Okay, so former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis has proposed introducing legislation to prevent international fast food franchises from operating in the family islands, citing the growing health crisis linked to poor dietary habits. Speaking during yesterday's House of Assembly debate on a suite of health care reform bills, Dr. Minnis noted that unhealthy eating habits are contributing to rising rates of obesity, especially among young Bahamians. Minnis said, quote, "We have an obesity crisis, and this crisis is increasingly affecting especially our young people. We eat too many refined carbohydrates, high-fat foods, and processed foods. We do not eat enough fruits and vegetables, and the prevalence of fast food restaurants in our major population centers is worsening the problem. And maybe it's time we need to look at the possibility of enacting a law to ensure that no international fast food franchises are introduced, especially into our family islands." Dr. Minnis pointed to the high concentration of fast food outlets in urban centers as a significant factor driving poor nutrition. He said, quote, "Nassau is contaminated already. Grand Bahama already contaminated. Interesting words here. But let us preserve the family islands and let us take care of ourselves. If you want to bring in foods, use our own restaurants. Keep the, and he named companies, wow. Keep the McDonald's and Burger King that got us looking fat out. Okay. He expressed concern over the frequency of fast food consumption, noting that some residents eat such meals 2 to 3 times per day. He described conditions like high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and obesity as having become a norm in Bahamian society. Saying, quote, we are an increasingly unwell people. We are addicted to eating foods that make us sick. He noted that a long-standing practice where family island residents visiting New Providence often purchase fast food in bulk to take home, which is, that's pretty disturbing to me, actually. A habit that underscores the powerful hold these products have on Bahamian eating culture. I cannot understand that one. I truly don't get it. But hey, I guess once you've been deprived, you'll gotta smuggle it in somehow. Anyway, let's get your reaction to this. For the family islands, and I think sounds like he's even saying we should put a moratorium on them for the rest of the country, but definitely preserve the family islands as the rest of us have been contaminated. Wow. Yeah, interesting editorial in that same paper today talking about this, saying how, removing choice is not a great option. And yeah, you got to give people the choice. You educate them. And if they still want it, that's up to them. But removing the choice, an overhanded approach to dealing with this issue. No? What say you? 323-6232. 325-4316, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Got some of your text messages. Let's get to those. This person says, this is back to this story. The people in charge of these law enforcement organizations are well aware that this is abusive, nasty culture, and that's why they're not able to treat civilians like humans. I really do think so. I think it's very hard once you've been shouted at and told that you were whatever and made to drink toilet water to come back and be a normal person and function in healthy relationships after that and speak to people in a regular manner. I can't imagine. I think only maybe a complete psychopath will be able to navigate it easily. Right? This person says, I understand what he's trying to say. This is back to minutes. I understand what he's trying to say because the family islands are really the pure lifestyle of the Bahamas. Oh, really? Okay. And what are New Providence and Grand Bahama? Contaminated. Yes. Okay. Yeah. 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259. I want to read a little bit of this editorial. So the editorial says, we hope if you live on a family island that you are not longing for a bucket of KFC because Dr. Hubert Minnis would rather you not get one. In the House of Assembly yesterday, the former Prime Minister offered what is probably an unpopular solution to the country's obesity crisis: stop family islands from getting any fast food franchises. Saying, quote, we have an obesity crisis. He went on to say that we all already know, that we eat too many refined carbohydrates, high-fat foods, and processed foods. For family islanders, his answer is to take away the option, no international fast food outlets, regardless of the fact that most have healthier options on the menu too. It is, of course, not the first time that proposals have been made to change the way we behave when it comes to food. Under the Minnis administration, then Health Minister Dr. Dwight Sands talked up the possibility of a sin tax on items such as alcohol, tobacco, lard, and high fructose corn syrup products. He said that items which have contributed in a mighty way to the illnesses and injuries of Bahamians, they should not get a free pass. For him, it was simple. The tax would pay for national health insurance. If you follow an unhealthy lifestyle, the tax on that will go towards the services that treat the outcome. But out went the Minnis administration, and in came the Davis administration, and current Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville mooted the prospect of a sin tax too. He talked about charging people more for items such as sugary beverages to encourage a healthier lifestyle. He noted how about 85% of the population does not meet the minimum daily intake for fruit and vegetables, while the figures for obesity also lead to more cases of hypertension, diabetes, and other problems. Rather than getting people to repent of their sins, both governments considered putting a tax on them. Dr. Minnis, though, seems fonder of abstinence. Minnis, the menace to fast food businesses, would simply deny the option entirely. Truly, though, what we need is for people to make better choices, not to be denied choices entirely. Dr. Minnis warned, quote, Nassau is contaminated already, Grand Bahama already contaminated, but let us preserve the family islands and let us take care of ourselves. If you want to bring in foods, use our own restaurants, keep the McDonald's and Burger King that got us looking fat out. Are we really, this is back to the editorial, are we really going to convince ourselves that if those outlets were not in the family islands, everyone there would be eating healthily? There are plenty of non-franchise businesses serving up unhealthy plates of food. It should be noted, too, that cost is a factor. People eat fast food often because it is cheap and quick compared to other restaurants. Eating healthily, sadly, is a luxury. Simply dismissing it as an option leads to the question of what people can eat as an affordable alternative. Let them eat Johnny cake? Well, so while the goal of eating healthy is admirable, the method is ridiculous. People in the family islands deserve to be treated no differently than from everyone else or elsewhere and be given the same options for good or for ill. Dr. Minnis' suggestion is a blunt instrument to solve a problem that needs a more elegant situation, much as he used it at times during COVID-19 when he was criticized for not understanding the needs of the people. Has changed. Well, okay, that got pretty harsh there at the end. But hey, I got to agree with most of the sentiments there. This is not the way to deal with it. It's not the way to deal with it. Not at all. This is like the nonsense that people say because of lots of accidents and lots of people who don't have insurance and driver's licenses are driving little Japanese hatchbacks. So we need to ban all little Japanese hatchbacks. That's insane. That's ridiculous. I was going to say a different word. Ridiculous. But this is the type of thinking we have around here. For some strange reason, I really don't understand what this is all about. But let's talk. What's a better way? What's a better way to deal with the challenges we have? And are we ignoring some real problems at the heart? Yes, that editorial mentioned price. But there's a level of comfort to this kind of stuff as well. And plenty people in this country are desperately seeking comfort. So I'm saying it's a psychological thing. And people are hurting. And this helps in many ways for some people. Are we addressing the root issue as to why people are resorting to eating like this? 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. All right. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Getting a lot of your text messages. Just to get to this one here. This one says here, sorry to say, Doc is right. Too much fast food in the poor areas. Can't tell people how to live, but it's going to hurt the health system. Bermuda doesn't allow fast food companies in their place for years. It hasn't. Okay, I'm not sure if that's true. But again, why would you not do it for part of the country but allow it in other parts? That's the issue here, right? You could say all this, but what's that about? And that's the majority of your population. That make any sense? New Providence is not what the Bahamas represents. You sure? It's more of a metropolis, high crime, garbage, the city life. You all can continue to say this. You can continue to say this, but this is where everybody is. You want to feel better about the country by saying, oh, this is just the capital. The rest of the country is beautiful. But that's where how many people live there? All the people live here. So what's the problem? The people? The Bahamas is great, except for the people. That's basically what you're saying when you say New Providence doesn't represent the Bahamas. The Bahamas is great except for the people. Wow. This one says here, good day. It's easy to blame fast food franchises for our obesity problems. I mean, that might be for real, but I'm just saying that's what it sounds like when you say that your province doesn't represent the Bahamas. It's easy to blame fast food franchises for our obesity problems, while the true blame is an individual one. I'm a Bahamian, and I'm not going to blame. What's this word? Okay, I will blame my policymakers who have not adopted the Japanese ways of doing things when it comes to healthy eating. Our children are not taught in schools what a healthy meal looks like, with the appropriate amount of calories and an optimal balance of carbs, fats, and protein. So no, you can't punish the ignorant if you've not given them the information to make better decisions. I hear you. The schools aren't teaching them. And so I guess, but see, this is the thing. Because you didn't learn it in school, but you learned it somewhere else. We know that about so many things. You did not learn in school, but you know it because you heard it from your friends. You learned it on the internet. You taught yourself to do it on YouTube. You know it. But the school didn't teach me that, so now this is why I'm like this. We can't use that excuse. Can't use that one. And plenty of people do know it, and it doesn't make a difference. And that's the issue. Why is that? You know that you should not be eating this for breakfast and then have that for lunch and have more of it for dinner and a late night snack. You know this, but yet you're like, oh, well, YOLO, you only live once, and I'm stressed, and I'll start exercising next week. It's a psychological thing. Something else is going on. What is that? Why? This texture says here, I agree with Minnis. Imagine if you still had the choice, but that choice of fast food wasn't so convenient. Many would choose healthier choices. Have you not seen the UB area? It's contaminated. What does that have to do with anything? Okay. The people who opened up, remember the salad place? Does that still exist? And they had to expand their menu to include like cooked food because the people were into the veggies and stuff. So stop it. This person says, if Dr. Minnis suggested that we not allow international fast food franchises in the Family Islands to protect local Bahamian food businesses, then I could go along with that more than this foolish reason. Another one says here, it's about a culture of dehumanization to get law enforcement to treat the public with condescension. Oh, this is back to the Defense Force issue. Okay, it must stop, and the training must be based on more on service. A culture of dehumanization. So you think it's intentional? Oh, yeah, interesting. This text says here, Dr. Minnis is 1,000% correct. Let's not be naive and act as if we don't know about the additives that are in fast foods that encourage addiction. Yes, we should have freedom to choose, but there is really a choice when addiction is a known byproduct? Okay, I mean, hey, that sounds great, but so what, again, are we saying about the rest of the country? New Providence and Grand Bahama, they're already trash, so, oh well. Yeah? Okay. Dwight, the Bleeding Hearts always tell us what we shouldn't do, but never what we should do. I am with Minnis. Okay, the text that did. Sure. As sad as it may seem, a vast majority of Bahamian women cannot cook. What has this got to do? Oh, my God. I've dated several ladies, and their idea of a good meal was fast food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They can't cook. What is this text? What is this about? Why are you saying this? What does this have to do with anything? What is this related to what we're talking about? this is what? The excuse for the fast food and the obesity because women can't cook? I hope you can cook. Can you cook? Anyway, oh my gosh. Okay. Always felt that the shock treatment show was nothing more than a horrible show that only destroyed those kids' self-esteem. We should never do this to our children for rehabilitation. No. School is an indoctrination space. If we indoctrinate the youth with the right mindset, we would have a country that is heading in the right direction and have a society that we would live in. We just need to ask our politicians to do that on our behalf. Well, okay. See, you were going the right way until you said that last part, asking the politicians. Okay. And this one says here, this is why we need true local government. The rum, gambling, and bad food shops should be banned. They should be, okay. What would local government do for you? Okay. You would vote in the people who would want to do that for the community. That'd be a fun place to live. Wow. Okay. You know, when you ban something, people want it more. It's human nature. Not sure it's gonna do what you think. If you teach them about it and how to use it in moderation, perhaps, or why it might be best not to do it at all, or to that you probably will have better results. Think about all the things that you can't get your hands on legally right now, and how so many people want those things. Caller, what say you on this? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Strong. How are you doing this morning?
Doing well.
Well, I agree with two-year taxes, Mr. Strong, the one who texted about the culture of dehumanization. Because, I mean, I saw a video, too, with they were the police force. They had some recruits, and they were, when they were doing the jogging, they're doing the little singing and chanting. And the instructor was saying, I respond with a whole lot of anger. You know what I mean? Like that was the chant. I respond with a whole lot of anger. I mean, you understand? So I mean, it's like they putting in them this bully mindset. Like when they come out into the public, like so they could treat the public with just like with the person say with their condescending attitude. But the one with the education too, Mr. Stone, I agree with them because if we introduced the proper curriculum in school, we could train children to act. The way we need to teach, Make the curriculum more comprehensive and make it more include things about life, Critical thinking skills, problem resolution, things like that, right? But what is interesting, Mr. Strong, is what you said. You said you agreed with the text, but the last part you didn't. And what's ironic about it is that it is the politicians who are responsible for that. You know what I mean? Well, and with your admission, it was like, It's like it doesn't make any sense. Getting the politicians to do it, even though that's their job. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is crazy. But I mean, I think you can achieve a lot of these things without them. I really think you can, especially PTAs perhaps, and I think a lot can be done.
Than that, Mr. Stone.
Well, we're talking about in schools, but yes, in the country too.
I admire the I think it's the Bahamas Constitutional Party or whatever. They brought up an injunction against the government as it relates to the things with the electrical company and stuff, right? So I feel as if that's the kind of steps we need to take by the store. If it's not done through the court system where we introduce those type things like injunctions or whatever type legal action against the government, then it's going to have to take things like what the taxi union did, shut down the country. It's going to have to take some type of action as opposed to talk and sitting back. Because if we're going to sit back and say, something, the politicians responsible for doing this thing, but man, if we ask them, that's a joke. Hey man, what they doing there then? If you get my point, Mr. Strong, we need to make it make sense. But I appreciate the show, Mr. Strong. I hope you have a good day. Thank you for the time.
Thanks a lot. All right. You could go that route, or you could just live it, do it, show them that you're doing this. At this school, we do this, and this is what we think is best, and it might work. And say, well, we're going to adopt what they're trying at this school, and you could do that with a whole lot of other things in life as well, but not many of us are willing to do that, it seems, to go out there blaze the trail, unless the politicians are backing it. And that's going to hold us back. And it is holding us back, as we can see. For the week, this person says here, Dr. Minnis should be about the method used for a needle biopsy which spreads potential cancer. What now? What? Is that a riddle? Okay. I don't understand. Anyway, let's go to the break on that note. This is Morning Blend on a Thursday morning, the final day of July 2025. Stay with us.
The Englishman, he takes some fish and chips. The American grab fried chicken, that's his native dish. The Frenchman bypassed the food, he head straight for the wine. The German just click his heel and fill his plate with veal. Then along come a Bohemian, a mountain on his plate. He act like he never eat before and he ain't to eat no more. He had 5 pieces of chicken, macaroni and cheese, roast beef, pork chop, rice and black-eyed peas. He had cucumber, crack salad too, potato salad and coleslaw, just to name a few. Now when he passed, I asked him, say, oh boy, is that all? No, I'll be back for seconds. These plates are far too small. And he had 5 pieces of chicken, macaroni and cheese, roast beef, pork chop, rice and black-eyed peas. He had cucumber, crack salad too, potato salad and coleslaw, just to name a few.
It's time for your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. With RBC, reaching your goals happens here. In your real-time traffic, we're seeing some heavy traffic on Milo Butler Highway in the northbound lanes from north straight up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway roundabout. And over on your alternate routes like Blue Hill Road, also some slow-moving traffic just north of Carmichael, and especially north of Soldier Road on the way to Independence Drive if you're heading northbound. Glass are looking pretty good for you at this hour. East Street, north and south of the Soldier Road intersection, seeing some slow-moving northbound traffic. Elsewhere, though, pretty manageable for you at this hour. A reminder of the work going on Joe Farrington Road. Joe Farrington Road, some of that happening in the daytime as well. There may be detours, so keep that in mind. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert. Also brought to you by NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. Whether you're on the road or planning your next move, we've got you covered. Visit NUAinsurance.com for an instant motor quote or stop by your nearest branch today. And it's time for another check of your weather for today. We've got a heat advisory in effect for the northern and northwest Bahamas between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. It's the second one in 2 days, folks. Expect excessive heat values within the low triple digits again today. So deep layered ridging across the area will continue to support light to moderate winds and mostly stable conditions across most of the islands, while a weak surface trough near the southeast Bahamas will generate a few showers in that area. That trough near the southeast Bahamas will gradually dissipate while lifting northwest, and high pressure will continue to be the dominant weather feature across the islands for several days. So for today, for the northern and northwest, but actually for all areas, we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds becoming fair tonight, a 10 to 20% chance of showers, high temperatures around 93 Fahrenheit, 34 Celsius, but the heat index will make it feel like it's 106 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius. Wow, overnight lows getting down to about 82 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. In your extended outlook for Friday, tomorrow, partly sunny with a few cloudy intervals, mainly across the northwest and central Bahamas, a 20 to 30% chance of showers across the northern and central islands. And for Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds again, about the same percentage of rain chances, and that'll hold straight through the weekend. By Monday, partly cloudy with occasional cloudy periods across the southeast Bahamas, partly to mostly sunny with a gradual increase in clouds by late afternoon, partly cloudy by night. The tropics are quiet, no tropical cyclone formation expected during the next 7 days. That's your morning blend weather check. We're back after the news here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
And I said, boy, my island's in the sun, 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 sun. Look it up. And I said, boy, my island's in the sun. Carnival time is here, but when we come to party, this junkanoo that got me wet. So, boy, my island's in the sun. Carnival time is here. We could be breaking, striping, winding up and misbehaving.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. Also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 4224, set reply. We're expecting the JCNP to be joining us in just a bit, and that will continue into business this morning. A lot to talk with them about. That's coming up. But there's another issue that I wanted to talk about that isn't getting... I'm surprised at how this is going here. This is about your cable channels and the Miami affiliate channels. So, and Bahamians have a long history of watching these channels. From when I was a kid, I know that some of these are the only things you had if you didn't have a satellite dish. You could get an antenna and you could still pick up the, especially Channel 10, which was an ABC affiliate, is an ABC affiliate. And on a good day, Channel 7, which used to be an NBC affiliate, and Channel 4, which used to be a CBS affiliate, and the independent Channel 6. You remember this? I think Gen X's and a few people older will know this very well, what I'm talking about. And then there was a big change. Remember this big change in 1989 when there was a big channel affiliate swap, and it went all crazy. And the CBS became Channel 6, and the NBC became Channel 4, and then Channel 7 went independent and then joined up with Fox. Remember all this stuff? And then there was another channel switch in the 90s when 4 went back to CBS and 6 went to NBC. Anyway, the long story is there's another one coming. Another one is coming, and it's on Monday. And I know the world has changed a lot, and a lot of people are not watching network channels on TV anymore. They are streaming. They stream the shows, but there's still a whole lot of people who every day turn their TVs to a specific channel and expect their shows to come on a schedule, and are going to be shocked if they have not been paying attention to what's happening in Miami. So I'm going to read this article from the Miami Herald, and then I'm going to tell you what the concern is here. And again, Bahamians really have been watching these for years on any of the cable systems we have here, or on satellite, and get their weather from them and get all their news. They do a lot of coverage. They know they have a lot of viewers in the Caribbean, including the Bahamas, and they're here when they're big stories. A lot of their correspondents come down, and they cover things in the Bahamas. So it's like they are a part of us, we're a part of them. But there's some changes coming. Monday. And these were announced a few weeks back, but... So, the Miami Herald, this is an article from just a few weeks ago. I'm going to read the whole thing for you. So it says, some may recall the retro TV ad, "Don't touch that channel." The new local message is also designed to keep you watching, but with a twist. Do change that channel. An agreement has been reached to broadcast the new ABC Miami after an announcement in the spring that WPLG Channel 10 will be breaking up with the network after nearly 70 years. Later this summer, the ABC network broadcast will be aired via WSVN. Pay attention now, WSVN. You know what that is. WPLG will remain as Channel 10, but it will no longer carry ABC programming as of August 4th. The station will go independent, airing more local news and local content. That's when the new ABC Miami will be available in high definition on Channel 18 in the Miami area, across most cable and satellite platforms, plus Channel 18.1 and 7.2 for over-the-air televisions using an antenna. That's where you'll find ABC Primetime Fare, as well as traditional network programs like Good Morning America and World News Tonight with David Muir. On July 9th, WPLG announced a multi-year partnership with HBCU Go Sports, a media provider for America's historically black colleges and universities. The station will broadcast HBCU Go's live coverage of regular season football and men's basketball games, starting with an August 30th game between Hampton University and Jackson State University, Daytona Beach's Bethune-Cookman University, and Tallahassee's Florida A&M University among the featured HBCU. In late June, Miami-based Sunbeam Television Corp., parent company of WSVN Channel 7, announced a multi-year agreement with Sunrise-based Findle Media and Technology Group to broadcast a new ABC Miami. The agreement comes months after Disney Entertainment and Sunbeam announced a new affiliation agreement, bringing ABC's lineup of network shows, live sports, and national news to a new home in South Florida. So Channel 7, WSVN, the Miami and Fort Lauderdale Fox affiliate, will carry ABC programming on Channel 18 in Miami and will be simulcast on ABC Miami and also stay on WSVN. Is that making any sense? Okay, so already the satellite and cable providers in South Florida have assigned a channel for the new ABC Miami because they're keeping WPLG, right? But here's the thing. What have you heard from the local providers here? I've made some calls. These folks didn't seem to know about it, even though this was announced again in the spring. And it's very unclear what they're going to do. Are they going to drop Channel 10, or are they going to add a new channel? Or do they even know? Will folks lose ABC programming on their cable systems here because they aren't paying attention? Or are they? The simple solution would be to add a channel. But there's been no advertising. There's been no message to consumers, to the customers that, hey, this change is happening and you'll be able to find ABC programming here because Channel 10 will no longer be carrying it. And so plenty of people may lose some of their favorite shows. Good Morning America, Abbott Elementary, Grey's Anatomy, Monday Night Football. Where will it be? I've been asking and getting some very odd answers. But are you paying attention? Are you concerned? That's what I want to talk about and see what your reaction is. Do you even care? Are you only streaming now and it doesn't matter to you at all? Where do you stand on this, and what is happening? Why aren't these folks getting ahead of this to tell us what is going on? 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. And, so one operator seemed to suggest that they would swap out Channel 10 and put this new ABC 18 in its place. But then, again, a lot of people are very fond of, especially the news coverage from Channel 10, and would not want to lose it. And, of course, the Channel 10 has the license for the Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. And so that would just, you might as well just shut everything down if we can't get Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, right? Wouldn't that be a problem? So let's hear from you. Let's see what these messages are saying. This person says, what is an ABC, NBC, CBS, or Fox? Are they new sports leagues? Okay, you think you're funny. That's not funny. It's not funny at all. Not funny at all. But I guess, okay. And then the folks are talking about other things. So I don't know if anybody cares. But for the few of you, don't be surprised if on Monday, because these cable operators here are very preoccupied with some other things, you might be losing some of the things you really love. Let's see if this caller has an appreciation or has some concerns about it. Good morning, caller. What say you on this?
Good morning, Dwight. How are you?
I'm doing well. Turn on your radio for us, please.
I'm surprised.
Turn on your radio for us, please.
Right down. You can hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're covering this.
Why?
No, because I've found one locally monitoring it. I was monitoring it, and you mentioned cable survived.
I was waiting for them to say something. I invited them on the show to say what they're going to do, yeah. Well, I don't know if many of these companies in this country care about their customers. I really don't know how many do. So we're all on our own,
Yeah, I would suspect to at least monitor it.
No, this has nothing to do with IRCA.
Monitor it. Here's what I'm saying. Monitor it and get the cable providers like BTC and Cable Bahamas to inform their people of the changes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't see
I'm
why
they could do something for it.
That would be. They need to stick to what's happening in this country. But you would think that as a service provider, they would have the sense and the decency to tell their customers that this is a change, and a lot of your programs may be moving or may be lost entirely.
You think they got providers check it?
Clearly not. That's the point I'm saying. They're not checking.
They won't receive my green. A lot of people are going to be calling in because right now I'm a football fan, and my Dolphins won't be affected because CBS 4 still carry. They're the official channel for the Dolphins. But the other football games, college football games, going to be.
Well, your Dolphins could be affected if they're on Monday Night Football. Where will it be if it's on ABC?
I heard Monday Night Football, NBC. You know about NBC?
ABC. Monday Night, ABC and ESPN.
Huh?
Monday Night Football, ABC and ESPN.
Right. Mm-hmm. But they did advertise their Sunday Night Football on Monday.
Yeah, that's NBC, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I appreciate how you inform the people. It's up to the rest of the people to get their subscribers to do wise.
Absolutely. Again, the simple fix would be to add the other channel. Keep Channel 10, add the other channel, but you've got to let people know. You've got to let people know. They're not doing that. Where will it be? It's not going to be where it used to be. And people will want to know. I can see this now. People on Monday getting all upset and blaming Brave because they don't know why. But that would be crazy. Let's see what this caller has to say. Good morning. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Are you there? Call us back, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. This person says they better subscribe to Hulu or Disney so you can get all the shows and games. And is that what they want? They they're trying to force us to do that, which, I mean, some people would prefer. So, hey, we've got people with shares in these companies. This is wild. Caller, what say you?
Good morning, Dwight. You can hear me?
You sound like you're very far from your phone.
Right, good morning to everyone who listens.
Hi.
Dwight, I was saying maybe Cable Bahamas preoccupied with a sexual harassment case
It's
going on.
perhaps. Perhaps.
Yeah, perhaps is correct. Maybe
Well, we've seen articles saying that they have the executives have been told not to speak to. They've been told there's like a gag order on them. They're not allowed to speak to the media.
What? You mean even with our business? I mean, I ain't talking about the allegations.
That's what I'm saying, right? I mean, I would not ask them about that if they came on to talk about this, but that would be inappropriate. I guess you never know. Some people are.
But they know we professional enough, and if they
Some of us are.
You invite them, they know if you say.
Some people are professional. Yes.
Yeah, but I saying for you.
Yes, right. Thank you very much. Exactly.
You invite them, right?
Yeah,
but they should have come on. Like I said, a case must be on their mind.
The bigger problem is I don't know if they know or care.
Yeah, they know, man. Listen to me. Hold on. You got to know. I mean, some people in the Bahamas know about it.
No, the public knows.
Huh?
The public knows.
Yeah, because you say we could scream and do other things that we mightn't be checking right now, or complaining that the cable provider should explain it to us.
Well, if you watch these channels, if you watch 7 and 10, they are telling you, they've been telling you every day that this is starting August 4th. Yeah. We're going to be the new home. You're not going to see this anymore. This is what we're going to be doing. So people know.
That's where I hear the information, but I ain't hearing you saying this part. They say us who get cable ain't got to worry about it.
You better worry.
Huh?
You better worry.
Hold on. What are you saying? Don't listen to them. You're saying
I'm saying we don't know if we're gonna what's going to happen on Monday.
Oh,
we don't know.
Apple Wireless over here not paying attention and letting us know.
They're not saying.
But if we listening to the people over there and them other channels who telling us this, they saying don't worry if you get cable and you're on satellite.
They're talking about people in South Florida.
Get antenna and stuff like that who have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying with this new channel. We want to know if we could get the option to at least get it, buy it too, rent it too, or add, or if they can drop ABC. Keep up the good work, right?
We'll drop Channel 10, right. They might just replace Channel 10 with the new ABC Miami. But I think that would upset a lot of people. This person says, speaking of blocked channels, is Guardian Radio still blocked in government offices? Okay, so I did some research on this, and so it's not just us. It's not that this would be some Mission Impossible type stuff if the government of the Bahamas were able to just block one radio station. So it's more than just us, but it's not everybody, which is strange. So of course ZNS apparently is allowed, and 100 Jams is allowed. At least in one government office that we did a check on. But some others were not allowed. Not sure what's going on. We're going to dig a little bit deeper, but it's not just us. So that's a little bit better, but not good. A little bit better, but not good. Anybody else care about this? We'll see. Monday is going to be interesting. I guarantee you, folks. And it's already Thursday, and there's been no announcement from the cable providers. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. You've been warned if you didn't know, and hopefully this will put some fire into some folks to let the public know what's going on. Have the decency to let paying customers know what they're going to do about this. We're going to leave that there. When we come back, we're talking to JCNP. They've got a lot going on as well, and they're speaking with us this morning. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
And I said, my island's in the sun. Carnival time is here, but when we come to party, this Junkanoo got me wet so boy. My island's in the sun. Carnival time is here. We could be waking, swiping, winding up and misbehaving. Give me the cowbells, give me the drums. We're gonna party till the morning comes.
Doesn't mess about when it comes to product range and product knowledge.
If it's a new product come in the store, we walk the store and study that product.
One thing with our boss, if a new product comes in, he takes the time and he's always keeping us up to date with product knowledge. Mm-hmm. And we just had 9 weeks of different products that we had to study, and we had exams at the end of each product.
Yeah.
The only way effective, we have to know that product. Yeah, that helps us to relate to our customers. It gives us better knowledge to know what product to introduce to them. You understand? So we can know what product to give them to use and what product not to give them to use. Mm-hmm. So product knowledge is really key in Sherwin-Williams.
They got the keys. And the key is the product knowledge that comes with our extensive product range at Sherwin-Williams Paints, Bahamas. Find color in every day.
Is your business ready for the next big step? More inventory, new equipment, a larger space? At Fidelity, we offer commercial loans tailored to suit your business's needs. Inquire today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Get ready
time to catch the thrill and win with Shell. Fuel up with $20 or more and unlock your shot at unforgettable prizes.
We're talking regatta trips to Exuma and Harbor Island.
Free fuel, grocery vouchers, water park passes, and more. Just snap your receipt and WhatsApp it to us at 242-422-0271. The vibes are high, the prizes are high, and the summer is yours to win with Shell. Only at participating Shell stations in Nassau. Now through August 22nd. Terms and conditions apply.
Shop early to get your uniforms and get Janae's Uniform Center's buy 4 get 1 free sale. Pre-monogrammed and regular school shirts, dry fit and cotton polos, jumpers, skirts, boys long and short pants, PE shorts, underclothes, tights, socks, neckties, belts, sleeping mats, hair accessories, and character work desk. Get 50% off backpacks, lunch bags, and raincoats. Buy 4 school shirts, get 1 free. Buy 2 skirts, jumpers, or pants, get the third 50% off. Need embroidery and monogramming done? Visit the Back to School Rush. Janae's Chesapeake Road Back to School Special. Restrictions apply.
Tell them. With RBC, your idea of loving every journey happens now. Free up cash with affordable auto financing from RBC. With competitive rates and no bank fees, it's the perfect time to make every journey something special. Apply now to pre-qualify in 60 seconds at rbc.com/auto loan to shop with confidence. Conditions apply. RBC, your idea of loving your journey happens here.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice. It's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the Know-How team at 396-1101.
Wendy's and Coca-Cola is giving away up to $25,000 of hot cash this summer. To enter, upgrade any premium combo from 1 through 12 to a medium or a large for your chance to win. Don't miss your chance to win big this summer. Visit your neighborhood Wendy's, upgrade your favorite lunch combo, and win hot cash. Rules and restrictions apply.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Are you being smart about your money? Protect yourself from investment fraud and scams with these quick tips. S. Spot scams by staying skeptical and alert. M. Magnify or zoom in and question suspicious offers. If it seems too good to be true, it usually is. A. Always authenticate sources before sharing personal info. R. Report scams to the authorities. T. Trust only licensed financial institutions. Visit centralbankbahamas.com or email exr@centralbankbahamas.com to learn.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas.
Got your final look at weather, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Here's what's happening. We've got a heat advisory in effect for the northern and northwest Bahamas today. It's going to be between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. We're expecting excessive heat values. So keep that in mind. Stay hydrated, limit outdoor activities if you can, and wear sunscreen. So for today, deep layered ridging, winds, and mostly stable conditions. While a weak surface trough near the southeast Bahamas will generate a few showers over that area. So that trough is going to dissipate while lifting northwest, and high pressure is going to be the dominant weather feature following that for most of the country for the next few days. So for today, we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds becoming fair tonight with a 10 to 20% chance of isolated showers across the country. It's going to be hot, especially for the northernmost islands. 93 Fahrenheit, your expected high temperature today. That's about 34 Celsius. The heat index will make you feel a whole lot hotter than that, baby. Up to 106 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to a very warm 82 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. In your extended outlook for Friday, the first day of August, tomorrow, partly sunny with a few cloudy intervals mainly across the northwest and central Bahamas. And 20 to 30% chance in central Bahamas, 10 to 20% chance elsewhere. By Saturday, straight through the weekend, into your holiday weekend, Monday, we are looking at a mix of sun and clouds turning mostly fair at night, about a 20 to 30% chance of isolated showers and thunderstorms. Specifically for Monday, the holiday, partly cloudy with occasional cloudy periods across the southeast Bahamas, but elsewhere, partly to mostly sunny. A gradual increase in clouds by late afternoon, becoming cloudy at night. Back to work on Tuesday, partly cloudy with a 20 to 40% chance of widely scattered showers. Tropics are quiet, tropical cyclone formation not expected during the next 7 days. That's your morning blend weather check brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Dull walls bringing you down? Well, Sherwin-Williams has the cure. Don't have your place looking toe up. Get that glow up with the superior quality of Sherwin-Williams paints. Final look at traffic brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your ideas happen here. We're seeing heavy traffic right now in your real-time traffic on Blue Hill Road, north and south of the Independence Drive roundabout. This is if you're in the northbound lanes. You're seeing the slow-moving traffic near Carmichael Road, but especially north of Soldier Road, straight through to the Independence Drive north of the roundabout now. Heavy traffic all the way up to about Cordo Avenue. And Cordo Avenue is going to be busy for you westbound to that intersection, that junction with Blue Hill Road. You're going to be, expect some delays if you're in that area. Elsewhere, we've got some heavy traffic on East Street, north of the Soldier Road intersection on the way to the roundabout with East-West Highway, and pockets along Prince Charles Drive, especially as you approach the major intersections. So those are your hotspots right now. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert. Traffic alert also brought to you by NUA Insurance. Agents and brokers, your partner for smart motor insurance and advice that puts you first. Whether you're at home or on the go, getting an instant motor quote is easy. Call them or visit your nearest branch or log in anytime at nuainsurance.com.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with you on this Thursday morning. As promised, the JCNP is with us this morning. Very pleased to have with us Public Williams. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Bahamas.
Always great to have you with us. All right, so we've got a lot to talk about because apparently there's a lot going on in Junkanoo.
There's a lot going on.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought, right?
Oh, boy. All right, so let's begin, though. You issued a statement this week about a tribute rush. Tell us about that before we get into some of the other issues going on.
So we had a former NJC chairman in that of Mr. Bill Wallace that passed, and the JCNP saw fit because of his stature and what he meant to the culture, to put on a tribute rush in his honor. We spoke with the family, and we organized a tribute rush with all groups that are invited, and that is happening Tuesday, August 5th at 8:30 p.m. It's going to be right after the memorial, through that corner that's right by between St. Agnes and the field. We're going to use one family's practice site as the gathering ground for the Junkanoos, who heat the drums and get ready. And we're going to put on a show because we want to honor a man of his legacy.
Yeah, well, wonderful stuff there.
Yes.
Condolences to the family.
Indeed.
All right, so now this is happening as you've suspended all other activities.
Yeah, so we are, as we're taking a stance. The country knows we're taking a stance here in New Providence because we're on the pause from all Junkanoo activities. In our statement, however, we also did say that memorials and tributes, as well as fundraisers and any civic events that groups were pre-approved for or already had planned will be allowed, because we don't want to take away those sorts of activities with respect to what they mean.
Right. So that's what's allowed. So what's not allowed? What are you?
We don't want persons to have their regular practices, and we are not participating in the Fox Hill Day Parade that is coming up. Yes.
Why that? Why specifically that?
Well, we know that is that's an activity that we consistently participate in, and we had a meeting, and all this is centered around what's been happening in the country, and as groups we made a decision. It was put forth to each group individually to say whether yay or nay, and all of the groups supported. The vote was 17-1, and that one being that group was unable to vote simply because their chairman was not available, and then five persons were absent. So everybody was in agreement with the stance that we're taking, and unfortunately, Junkanoo activities involve rushing, and the next parade that was coming up would have been the Fox Hill. Right. Now, even in our stance, even in our stance, we have been encouraging all of our groups, all of our members to still go out to festivities and support the Fox Hill community, because that's really what it's about. Okay. So we want persons to support the vendors, get the drinks, get the food, and just attend and support that community.
All right, so that's next week.
Yeah.
Well, the week after next.
Yes.
But what about Emancipation Day? So is there anything going to be happening?
We are not. We are shut down. We're shut down.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So let's talk about it. Why suspend activities? I mean, yes, the bill is out for consultation, the National Junkanoo Authority Bill, but can't you still do what you do and consult on the bill or give your opinions on the bill?
No, we did not want to do that, right? We wanted to, and persons seem to think it's a move to try to bully, but it's not. We're just showing that we are united in these efforts. We are united in our decision. We are moving as one, contrary to what many persons believe, that Junkanoos can't operate together. We're always rowing, we're always late. We are together on this. And we wanted to prove and show that we made a decision, we're sticking with it, and we believe in ourselves, we believe in our culture, and we're the show. We're the performers. We are what you come to see.
Okay, so you're united on what? What are you united on?
So we were presented with the bill, right? We've realized, if you read the bill, I know the bill is in the public now. You read the bill. From page 1 of the bill, we had an issue. All right, we have one or two issues with it. The way the JCNP was defined in the bill on page of us in the past tense, managed, governed the parades in New Providence, that being Boxing Day and the New Year's Day parade. And it said governed until this bill is enacted, which means when it is enacted, you're gone, right? So we realized that means everything that the JCNP represents or does will be wiped away. What we also noticed in the bill is that they are establishing different committees and boards, and all of these committees and boards mirror what we do now. We have these things established. We've had these things established for 20 plus years now. The rules committee, the parade management team, fundraising, outreach, all of these things are what we are already doing, free, So our issue is if the authority is going to be doing all of that, then what exactly is the role of the JCNP? We want our roles defined. Now, if they cannot be defined and adjusted and what have you, we'd take the bill. But we also took the stance that we are now simply performers who are just putting on costumes and coming to rush. And so just as all these other salaries are being created and monies are being paid out, we would like the groups, and we mean every group. This is not an A group decision. The A, the B, the D, the fun, everybody should be paid. So we're looking at it holistically as everyone with regard to New Providence Junkanoo. I want to stipulate that the JCNP is responsible for New Providence.
Right. Now, you've had meetings with the minister and officials from the Ministry of Youth, Sports,
Yes.
and Culture, right?
Yes.
So I'm sure that you asked them about why is it in past tense. Have they not said that wasn't the intention?
Well, here's the thing. And I want to also state that we've had a wonderful relationship with the government for the past 20 years. A wonderful relationship. We work hand in hand with each other. The minister now said, he said it's a draft bill. He wanted us to review it, respond to it, give our suggestions and any grievances we have with it, which we did. We sent in our recommendation. We said what our issues were, and we said even with that we would accept this authority bill if you accept, our suggestion or our recommendation for Junkanooers and Junkanoo groups in New Providence.
Right.
And we presented that. Unfortunately, it got out into the public, but I mean, that's the kind of times we live in. Things are leaked every now and again.
Yeah. So people are still going to try to say, well, I don't get the suspension of activities.
Of course. I mean, with everything that you do, there's always going to be people who oppose to what you're doing, your stance. But we have to look at the bigger picture, what we're doing. And at the JCNP, there's not one person that makes a decision. The executives don't make a decision. Everything is brought to the board, to the table. It's discussed, whether it's discussed in one night, 2 nights, 3 weeks, a month, whatever it is. And then it's voted on. And whatever the majority vote is what we go with. You may not like it. The next man may not like it, but it is what it is, and everybody has to subscribe to that.
So, John, it sounds like Junkanoo's wanted the summer off. That's not what's going on here?
Not really, because we love to rush. And persons have to understand, we are rushing for everything. We rush for weddings, funerals, shows, openings, closings, regular parades, every holiday. We love to rush. I mean, Junkanoo is at everything. It's either opening something, it's closing something. So the mere fact, and we're doing it for the love. So the mere fact that we would decide to pause should emphasize the severity of the situation and the passion we have behind our culture and what we do.
Yeah. So how long is this pause for?
Well, we are still negotiating and speaking with the government. I think we have some meetings coming up. I think we also have a meeting with the JCNP to revisit our decisions and our stance on. I know the minister gave us, I think, until the end of August to go through the bill some more. And so we're just going to be on a pause unless something comes up and, we cut that time down and we're able to speak and get some issues solved.
Okay. All right. We've got a lot of text messages coming in, calls. I have tons of questions for you.
Okay.
We had a member from Genesis on yesterday, and they sounds like, at least that person doesn't agree with this suspension at all.
Okay.
And we want to get to something the minister said last week. So we have a lot to talk with you about when we get back from the news. This is Morning Blend. We're talking with John Williams from the Public Relations Director at the JCNP. A whole lot more on this when we come back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, July 31st, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. We continue our conversation from our 8 o'clock hour about Junkanoo, the future of Junkanoo. We're talking with the JCNP, getting their reaction to the draft bill for the National Junkanoo Authority. We've got PR Director John Williams with us this morning. Having a lot more to get to this morning. All right, so let's get this out of the way. So we're hearing from some of the groups that there's a threat of suspension if you do violate the temporary ban
pause.
or the pause on activities. Is that correct?
That is correct. Our chairman, Dion Miller, sat in front of all the leaders. This was one of the things that was said before the vote was taken, that we're doing this stance. If you go against this stance, such and such will happen, and that's in the form of suspension, right?
How long is suspension? What does that mean? Suspension from what?
Suspension from the JCNP, and possibly competing in being a competitor in the Boxing Day and New Year's Day parade.
Wow.
Now, that does not mean that you cannot perform on Bay, because anyone can come and perform on Bay, but you will not compete for a prize.
That's an automatic, or that's a potential?
No, that is what suspension would look like.
Oh my goodness.
That would be decided. The group would be notified formally, and then we will take the steps from there. All of this was said to the persons in the room, and as I said, the vote was 17-1. Now we don't want anyone to do it. No one has done it to date. And I don't think anybody will. I would hope that nobody will, because, as I said, together we are strong, we are united, and we want it for the greater good of what we do.
Yeah. So the groups are decided this, but to outsiders, to an outsider, that sounds like really extreme.
It can sound extreme, but with every corporation, every business, when you go against the grain or you go against what was decided or voted upon, you have consequences, to use, for lack of a better word. I want to use a weaker word, but there are consequences. If you go to work, and they say, you can't be late 3 times and you come late the 4th time, there's going to be a problem.
Right. So suspension is what, indefinitely, or just for
No, definitely. It'll just be for that immediate parade, as it stands. And then
one or two?
Well, Boxing Day and New Year's.
But Boxing and New Year's?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Now, I mean, everything has, it can change, can be adjusted, conversation and action, whatever it is. But we have the power to do that. We would bring it to the body, and have a vote on it.
Yeah.
As I said, everything is democratic at the JCNP.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So as you said, we had Genesis. They're promoting their fun run walk.
Yes.
Is that allowed? Can you do that?
Yeah, man. Definitely. That's a fundraiser. As a matter of fact, I want to be a part of it.
Right.
And we're encouraging persons to partake in it, because again, we are all a part of one body. So because it's Genesis doesn't mean that the Valley or the Saxons should not participate. We want to encourage all Junkanooers and all persons, all Bahamians, to participate, register for their fun run walk. It's a fundraiser. It helps the group. And we anticipate that any other group that has fundraisers, we would do the same.
So you could run and walk, just don't rush.
Just don't rush.
Oh, boy. Okay. All right. Any pushback from that? Any confusion, or
there's not been too much pushback. I mean, of course, again, you're always going to have persons that oppose what you're doing, but it's minimal, right? I've seen some of the the social media comments and stuff like that, or they don't know what they're doing. The government needs to take over. We run a dictatorship, but. Wow. Some of the persons that are saying that, their credibility, it may not be there, and again, it's opinion. And again, it's a democratic thing. Some of those persons moved from A to B to C to D, back to A, like they're traveling all over the place. So at some point, you got to realize that maybe the problem is not the organization that you're in. The problem may be you,
right?
And it kind of takes the air out of their credibility and what they're saying. But we move as a unit. We vote, and whatever the vote is what we go by.
Yeah. All right, so speaking of opinions, this was some interesting comments from Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Mario Boleg, last week when he was talking about the authority and about what's going on with the JCNP. Again, some interesting comments. Take a listen to what he said last week.
They saying the government want to control Junkanoo. They are trying to twist the narrative and blindfold the Bahamian people. Bahamian, review the legislation for yourself, the bill, the draft bill, and you will find the facts. JCNP continues to try to make the Bahamian people believe that they manage and control Junkanoo. They don't.
Amid pushback from the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence over the Junkanoo Authority Bill, Culture Minister Mario Boleg insisted it will not result in the replacement of the JCNP, adding it is just a draft bill.
Well, I don't know why it's causing some uproar. This is a draft legislation that was shared with all Junkanoo corporations and associations throughout the length and breadth of the Bahamas. For them to make recommendations and give us feedback so we could finalize the legislation. And so that's why the bill was shared. The bill is also now shared for the public to review on the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture webpage, because we believe that the public needs to see and understand the importance of this bill and the rationale of why this bill will be coming forward. This bill in no way, form, or fashion is to disband any Junkanoo corporation that exists in any family island. Collaboration with these corporations and associations for the greater good and betterment of Junkanoo.
The JCNP has said it does not agree with or accept the bill and announced the immediate suspension of Junkanoo-related activities. Boleg reiterated the purpose of the bill is to move Junkanoo away from just parades to festivals.
And because we move into festivals, these corporations that only oversee parades itself does not has the ability or the capacity to manage festivals, which will encounter a organizational structure to manage all festivals in the country when it comes to Junkanoo festivals. That was one of the main purposes of having this one body structure to oversee. I heard, but I wouldn't even get there with the leader of the opposition, who presented a bill similar to this, and you could find it in your Googles and go search in 2017, which the then was the chairman of the JCNP who is behind the rejection of this bill today. Why they supported back then and can't support it now.
The proposed legislation, which would create a permanent body to manage, promote, and develop Junkanoo, was shared with the National Junkanoo Committee, JCNP, Grand Bahama Junkanoo Corporation, and Family Island Junkanoo Associations, and cultural organizations for review and feedback. Boleg added his ministry welcomes recommendations from the JCNP.
Junkanoo is no longer should be considered as just a parade for competition, but we should be looked at it as an international institution to bring revenue and financial economic benefit to those who are involved in Junkanoo. Prime example, under the authority will have the ability to borrow money and receive funding from outside of the country. No local corporation could do that. The authority will be in place to replace the government's position and take the government's hands off of managing any of the Junkanoo parade. So what the government will do, just like how you got the National Sports Authority, you got the Airport Authority, we will fund the authority, who will be made of independent bodies.
He added the authority would also have the power to increase seed funding and prize money and slammed the decision to suspend Junkanoo events.
There is no rush to implement this bill. And I think the immaturity of the decision by the JCNP to cancel practice and all that makes no sense when there's only been the consultant stage and there's no implementation, no date for implementation of this, because the bill has to come to Parliament, it has to be debated, it has to go to the Senate, it has to be debated and passed, and then it will come to fruition. And that takes time to happen. So what is the rush of them canceling? Because they believe they're in charge of Junkanoo and they should dictate to any government and do things that they want to do. That cannot happen.
He also hit that the Valley Boys split and subsequent legal battle prompted the bill.
The narrative is being twisted to make it seem like the Valley Boys have anything to do with this bill. I want the media and the public to do their research. The first initial draft of this bill was done in 1996. Michael Pintard and the Free National Movement brought a bill forward in a conclave in 2017. all administrations understand in order for us to move to the next level, with us having UNESCO and all them involved now, we understand that we have to take Junkanoo to the next level.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonique Toot.
Okay, thank Vonique Toot for that story there. All right, so John Williams, want to get your reaction. He says it's not here to replace the JCNP. It's not going to be that. Are you not convinced?
We are not convinced. This is not a John thing.
The collective view, yes, the JCNP.
It's the collective view, right? Mm-hmm. So I appreciate Minister Mario. He's done a lot for the culture in his role. He's doing a good job. He has the best interests at heart, right? Again, I want to read what it says, the definition of JCNP on page 1 of the bill. Junkanoo Corporation of Providence, or JCNP, means the company incorporated and existing under the laws of the Bahamas, which organized and managed Junkanoo parades in New Providence before the commencement of this act. That is on page 1 of the bill. I don't know if persons understood what was spoken in past tense, right? Okay. Now, we received the bill. The time frame for the review of the bill was short. Let's say we got it on a Wednesday. We had about 5 to 7 days to review it and get back to the minister, because he wanted to get it back to the House to present to Speaker and stuff on that.
But that might just be a tense issue, right? Because it says in the composition of the authority that it will require the chairman of the JCNP to be a member of the authority, right? Along with 3 members with the big committee. 3 members, 3 with training or experience in finance, management, government, international trade, law, export-oriented business, commerce, culture, youth development, or the arts. The chairman of the JCNP, chairman of the National Junkanoo Corporation, chairman of the Grand Bahama Junkanoo Corporation, chairman of the Family Island Junkanoo Corporation, director of tourism or representative, director of education or representative, director of culture, secretary general of UNESCO or representative, representative from the Ministry of Health, representative from the Ministry of Economic Affairs, representative from the police force, representative from the defense force, persons involved in Junkanoo music. That's very interesting.
Listen,
But there's more. Hold on. And the following ex officio members: the dean of the facilities of the creative arts and music of the University of the Bahamas, or their nominees; the director of the National Art Gallery, or a nominee; and the director of the National Museum, or a nominee. Well, it's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people,
but still, the JCNP is included.
The JCNP has 1 seat, and then that of the chairman. But I mean, if we are eliminated and we don't have any roles, what is he really the chairman of? I mean, what are we doing?
But why are you saying eliminated? Why are you?
Because we have no more roles. Everything that we would do in terms of creating the rules. If you read through that bill, there's a rules committee, there's a parade management committee. All of these are things that we do. So if we establish and create the rules and ratify the rules for Boxing Day and New Year's, and they have a rules committee that is creating and managing the rules for all parades, which rules are we? I mean, like, which roads are we going by? Who's going to supersede what? And what persons have to realize is that the authority is covering the entire Bahamas. The JCNP is responsible for New Providence parades, Boxing Day and New Year's. The authority can handle everything else. We could have been transitioned into the authority. We've been doing this for 20 plus years for free. So to create the same roles that we have now and to create salaries for them, I mean, like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Now the authority has the power to select and persons, but there's no guarantee that the persons who've been managing the parades now would transition into the authority.
But John, some people are going to say, "Hey, I went out to Boxing Day and I went to New Year's, especially they're kind of boring, they're kind of flat. You all need some help." What do you say to people who are going to say,
"We welcome the help. We welcome the help. When we
could
have
that not be the authority? Could they not help?
It can be, but the authority is not coming to help. The authority is coming to take over. There's a difference. When we have our general meetings at the JCNP office, it is open to anyone. We welcome persons to come with suggestions. We have our open email. We have our Facebook page. Come and give our suggestions. As a matter of fact, PR this year plans to have some town hall meetings once all of our rules and everything are ratified and we solidified. We plan to have some town hall meetings because we want to hear from the public. We want you to tell us, because we're in the road.
Right.
We want you to tell us, what do we need to do to make the parade more exciting, make it shorter, make it longer? Do we need to extend it? We need you to tell us. Right?
Do you have any fundamental issues with this idea of making this a festival as opposed to just 2 parades?
Of course not. Again, you heard the minister say that this is the idea of a commission or authority has been around from the 90s. I'm just shocked. We're just shocked of the fact that it's so all of a sudden. It has to go. It needs to go now. And
why do you think that is?
We have some reasons why we think it is. I mean, our chairman has stated publicly that one of the main reasons is this whole Valley Boys issue that started from last year. That seems to be the root of what we're going through. And Minister Mario said that there's no rush to implement it. It's in the consultancy stage. It has to be debated. It has to be passed. It has to go to the Senate. The AG came just this week and said right after the summer break it's going to be debated and passed. And we return in September. So it sounds like it's imminent. It sounds like it's going to happen.
Yeah. All right. So I wanted to read all of the objectives and the functions of the authority, but this is a very lengthy. We would not have any time to hear from you or our listeners.
It's long.
It's very long.
What I would do for you, Dwight, as you look at that, let me tell you what our committees are, right? We have a legal committee, a parades committee, business committee, outreach committee, events committee, and rules committee. All of those are there.
Right.
All of those are there. If you scroll, you'll see all of those are there. That's outside of PR, the chairman, deputy chairman, treasurer, secretary, and assistant secretary. All of those are there. They're listed.
Yeah.
And they're performing the same roles and duties that we do. Which is why I'm trying to understand, it's been said repeatedly and it's known that we managed the parade.
Right.
We thank the government because they provide us with bleachers. They take care of the security, the police and stuff like that for these parades. And they provide the seed funding, the seed funding for the individual groups, which does not, by the way, come to the JCNP. It goes directly to the groups. Now, the groups they send it to are groups that are registered with us, and we provide them with that list. But the government doesn't provide the JCNP with direct funding. It never has in 20 years. It never has.
Yeah, this is interesting. Subject to approval of the minister, the authority may impose charges or fees for seating at National Junkanoo parades.
All parades.
And
there's a difference, folks. There's a difference between Junkanoo and Junkanoo parades. All right? Junkanoo parade is the parade. We manage the Boxing Day and New Year's Day Junkanoo parade. We don't manage Junkanoo. You can do Junkanoo anywhere at any time. The parade.
So how confident are you that your ideas may be taken seriously when you do present them during this consultation period?
I think they realize that we are very serious, especially with the stance that we're taking. But we want to have the conversation. We want to be valued. We want to be. We want our roles defined. I mean, it's really that simple. And again, it's not that the government is not trying. It's not that they haven't reached out. We're just waiting on the next meeting because they gave us more time to review. We're reviewing as the JCNP groups are reviewing as their individual groups with their teams, and they have the opportunity to come back to the JCNP for us to give one review, and even if they so wish to give an independent review, the minister said that they can do that as well. And so we're all trying to work together because at the end of the day, this is the Bahamian culture, and Junkanoo belongs to the people.
Yeah.
The only thing we manage.
Right. So again, everyone's talking about the end of August. Is that when the suggestions are expected in? Do we know?
I think he's given us a time frame, but I think it can come in before that. If persons get through it, it's a lengthy document. I think it's like a 30-page document, which we had 5 to 7 days to try to go through. Right. But if anybody knows a bill, it's not easy to go through, especially with the language and stuff like that. But we have time. We're going through it. And we hope to have suggestions in by groups and individuals. And we will meet again with Minister Mario, the NJC, I think it was there as well, and members of the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, because it's our culture, man. And we have to look out for it.
Okay, so we've got a lot of questions, and the phone lines are lit up. We want people to call in, and they have lots of questions and concerns. So you can call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, or toll free 242-300-5720. Maybe you're in the Family Islands. Do you have any concerns about this authority? It seems like it's only the JCNP with concerns. But let's hear from you. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. We're talking with John Williams, Public Relations Director for the JCNP. All right, here's this text. Ask your guests to comment on the proposal the JCNP submitted to the government. They want the government to pay them $45 million for them to participate in the parades. Is that true?
That is true. Mm-hmm. I have to bring up the breakdown, but as I said earlier, if our roles are going to be eliminated and we're just going to be regular performers and you have salaries for everything as a part of it, then we are saying, okay, if we're going to do that, we know our value. Mm-hmm. And some years ago, there was placed on the parade. That would have been maybe about 10, 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. With inflation and all that sort of thing, that has increased, right? And so the breakdown had it at about $1 million per A group, about $500,000 for the B group, 25 for the D, and so on and so forth. And we broke it right down per person based on the amount of persons in your group, the labor that you're doing, the performance fees, all that sort of thing, which is why I said we would accept the authority if we are compensated.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. All right. This text says the JCNP needs to understand that we, the people, have lost confidence in them. Mm-hmm. Junkanoo is not a business. It's our culture. Why can't the JCNP negotiate to be part of the new authority?
This is exactly what we're doing. If we were a part of the authority, we may not be in the situation that we're at now.
Do you think the language is, when it says the authority would do that, does it mean that including the JCNP under this umbrella?
No, it does not.
Do you know for sure it doesn't?
I don't know for sure, again, because it's a draft bill.
Right.
And bills are kind of explicit. It lays it out. So if the authority says it would establish a parades committee, first thing it would say in tandem or in conjunction with the Junkanoo Corporation, New Providence. Now that is something that can be adjusted with the bill because again, it's not final.
Right.
But these are things that we have said we are prepared to. We can work along with you. But again, we just want to know our rules. We want our rules clearly defined.
Yeah. This person says here, but the JCNP has not developed the culture of Junkanoo. Junkanoo was always meant to be a celebration of Bahamian culture for all Bahamians. They made Junkanoo a social club for those they have determined to be Junkanoo purists.
I wouldn't say that, right? Again, we manage the parade. We know the competitive nature of Bahamians and we know the competitive nature of Junkanooers, right? We, in 2025, need to understand that Junkanoo has not been tapped into. The industry has not been tapped into. And I don't know who's at fault for it, but I'll give an example that the Ministry of the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture is the least funded ministry. And yet it carries arguably the greatest show on earth in the form of Junkanoo. It's our culture, but it's the least funded. And that rate within itself is an issue. But Junkanoo is a competition. It's open to anyone. Once you're a part of a group, you are performing. That's just what it is,
All right, so if there is clarity, once they refine this draft and you learn that, yes, wherever we said this, that we meant that would be the JCNP or corporation for Ridge Island.
We would take it. Yes, we would take it back. We would take it back for review.
Would be perfect.
I wouldn't say it'd be perfect, but we would take it back to the body. Again, we don't make those decisions on our own. The executives or Dion, our chairman, doesn't make those decisions on his own. He's not going to get a call and say, all right, we say this, we're going to make the JCNP remain. And he says, okay, that's good. No. He has to bring that back to the body. We have to discuss that, and we have to vote on that and make a group decision, because that's how we operate.
So other than the lack of clarity on where the JCNP stands with the authority, is there anything else that is concerning in what you've seen so far?
It was recently said that this bill was kind of has resurfaced within the last 2 years. As the governing body for the biggest parades in the Bahamas, the ticket sellers, as we like to say, Boxing Day and New Year's, we're trying to figure out why we were not consulted in the beginning to help with this draft, because maybe if we were consulted, we would have been able to push to see what our roles would be, so that when this draft comes out, it probably could come immediately to the public for consultation, and we know that we just go ahead and pass it.
So when this meeting was called, that was the first time you knew that there was...
That was the first time. Okay. That was the first time because of the sensitivity of it. So we our chairman actually had to read it to the body because we were not allowed to send it out or make copies or anything. So we actually sat in that room and went through that 30-page document line by line and analyzed that for a couple of hours.
Well, that's kind of weird. But sure. Call in, folks, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free 242-300-5720. Continue to text us 422-4796. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Blend Business.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
And good morning to your guest.
Good morning.
First of all, I wanted to say, a lot of times I hear people talk about the JCNP as like one person running it. I don't think they quite understand that the JCNP is made up of, I think it's 2 or more individuals from each Junkanoo group, which means the Junkanoo groups makes up that body. Am I right?
That's an excellent point, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, because I'm listening to a lot of people talking about it as if it's like one person is in charge and then other people is under them. Because I don't get what some people are saying. And the second thing I wanted to ask, when this bill was being drafted, were you guys contacted to be a part of some of the information or the way it should be worded so you can say your piece or no?
Yeah, he just said that.
Yeah, we just said that we were not consulted. The first time we were presented with the bill was the first time that we saw it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Yes, ma'am.
stepped with the vehicle, so I didn't get that piece.
So how do you
All
feel
right,
about that, knowing that they weren't? How do you feel?
I think that's a slap in the face, for lack of a better word, because if this corporation was around for about 20 years or thereabouts, then what are you doing? It's like you're trying to undermine them without saying that you're undermining them. Mm-hmm. Because why? All of this come up because something happened that you didn't like. So you feel like if you're in charge, you get to say what you want to say. I'm laying it at the feet of the last parade with the 2 Valley boys. That's my view on why this is now coming up. I'm sorry to say it like that, but it seems like a nitpicky type kind of petty thing. That's how I feel.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
How you doing?
Doing well.
Yes, a question. In the reading of the bill, it happened in private, right? In the reading of the proposed bill, right?
Before it was released to the public, yeah.
Yes, yes. Was there anything in there about licensing?
About
licensing?
Yes.
I'm confused by your question. Licensing for
outside the country.
Yeah, I don't think it was defined as licensing, but I think there is a part of the authority in the bill that spoke somewhat to that. I'd have to bring it up to see exactly where that is.
In my opinion, I don't think that they're going to have any support for the bill at the local level. But the opportunity to export the product outside of the country, I believe that's where folks think that most or all the money is.
You're correct, because the bill would afford us to, I think, deal with UNESCO and create avenues for international use of Junkanoo in terms of exporting costumes, sale, continuance of shows, and all that sort of thing. Yes, so I think that is outlined in the bill in some fashion. Yes.
But if the presence of the Junkanoo Committee is limited in terms of what kind of say they have in the authority.
It is very limited for the corporation, because the corporation is only represented by the chairman.
So what it boils down to is that this is an attempt to co-opt the Junkanoo product.
All right.
That is the only way this thing can be headed.
Yes, sir.
Because if the person's
the only way where it could be headed, I don't know if that's the only way where it could be headed.
No. But if the persons in the authority are not persons on the ground in terms of what is happening in the culture and with the culture, they have no skin in the local game.
Well, again, it's unclear, and they're all seeking clarity on this right now. Right. Yes. Okay, let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Are you there? Call us back, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Okay, so far you've said that if it is clarified that when it speaks to the management, this would be a function of the JCNP as it relates to the Nassau parades. You said that if that is the case, you'd be happier with this.
Whatever transpires in the meeting, and they come back and say, okay, we will look at this, we will look at that, we adjust this, we adjust that, we review your proposal. I mean, that's fine. We have to go back to the group and discuss. And I also want to emphatically say that the JCNP is not against the government. We have enjoyed our relationship with the government for 20 plus years. We are partners. We are not against them. This is not the government versus the JCNP. The JCNP just represents the groups. The groups have a view. We voted on it, and this is where we are at. Yeah. So we want to work together because this is our product. This is all of our product.
Right. So other than the money issue that you mentioned earlier, is there something that the JCNP says this is what we would need an authority for? This is what we wish they would focus on. Is there a wish list, I guess?
The wish list is just that our roles be defined, or the wish list can be if our roles are not defined, then we would want to be compensated. And as the caller said, I want to support what she said. It's not one person. We are made up of all the groups. From our executive team alone has the Valley, the Saxons, Genesis. The former chairman was one family. I mean, we are rooted in this, and the committees are made up of all the groups, A, B, and D.
So, let's take some more calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Dwight, am I on?
Yes, you are.
Good. This is Silbert Ferguson, the past chairman of the JCNP.
Hi, Silbert.
Good morning, Silbert.
Good. John, you're doing a wonderful job explaining to the public our position.
Thank you.
But I just want to clear up a report that Bonnie too did, and the minister made a comment that Silbert Ferguson was the chairman in 2017, and he voted for the bill. I have had 2 commissions passed while I was chairman. I just want to make sure the public understands. The chairman of the JCNP on an authority or a commission, that belongs to the group leaders. Okay? So I just wanted to make sure that they understand that the minister erred in his comments. And secondly, I opposed the commissions during my term as chairman strictly because we have no business plan. We have put no finance component to each of these things. The Junkanoo community has put on those parades from their pockets over the 100 years that we have been out there. Okay? And what we are doing now, as we saw the bill that put the JCNP in past tense, now that we have said we are not going to move in that direction, we now hear that we never said we are going to eliminate the JCNP. So all that means to me in hindsight is that you still want the poor people or the poor performers in our country to continue to pay for a very expensive parade.
Wow.
I stand to be corrected.
Yeah. All right. So again, other than this issue, the blurring, the confusion about what the JCNP's role would be, Silbert, where are you so far with the bill outside of that?
Well, I have had a opportunity to, like I told you, all of the commissions I have seen, and now we have an authority. John is right in his comments with regards to the fact that, you know, the main players who should have been addressed in the authority is the JCNP. But we were left out. And then we were asked in 4 or 5 days to make a comment on a bill. Let me tell you something. My personal view is I have no issues with the authority or commission. Let's make sure we all clear. The issue is finance. I just want to be clear that it's finance. We are begging every year. We are begging up to $30-40 million to put on these parades. So if we have an authority now that can do that, who can go out and get the money so we don't have to do it, our job is we will become employees of the authority, and we are all glad. We are set and poised to register each member in our groups and pass on to the authority. We will help in any which way to continue to make this relationship grow. We agree with the authority, yes. So we don't be out with hot begging money from corporate Bahamas any longer. The authority will have that position.
Okay. Silbert Ferguson, thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Silbert.
Appreciate you calling in. All right. Well, see, all this people saying, well, so seriously, do we need to have a suspension of all activities? It sounds like you're this close to getting this resolved, and
hopefully,
why have the suspension?
Because we have to take this stance. We need to show that we are together. We need to show the severity of what this would cause. If we were to let it go, then we would be null and void. And we don't want that to happen. We represent not just ourselves as the JCNP represents all registered members and groups in New Providence for the Boxing Day and New Year's Day parade.
Yeah.
Again, we don't own Junkanoo. We don't govern Junkanoo. It's the parades. So we develop the rules. We pay the judges, we train the judges, we host the judges course, we deal with the parade management, logistics, mobility, reserving. We're doing.
But that's a contradiction, though. So if
we're doing all of this.
It's the parades, but you don't own Junkanoo. So why are you telling groups they can't go and rush?
Because they're members. They're members of an association. They're members of a corporation, and we are the performers. And as a group, we decided that this is what we're going to do. And if there was a situation where the vote was 8-9, or it was tied and the executives made a decision, all right, it's tied, so we're going to make this. They're all for it. They're all for it.
Okay, I still say it's...
I know.
Summer break, that's what they want. It's too hot. Maybe it is too hot to rush, perhaps. Good morning, caller, you're on the air. Are you there? All right, this person says, here's the text. John Williams, the New Valley Boys claimed that they were helping the world famous, what now? Then they tried to take over. It seems that is how they do it. The government says that the bill should help Junkanoo and the JCNP. Then they will take Junkanoo over from the JCNP and the people who perform. This seems deceptive to me. Is there a perception that's what's going on?
I was trying to understand what the text was saying, but again, as I said a few minutes ago, this is not the JCNP versus the government. We just have a view, and we know our value, and the JCNP itself knows its value. So we just want clarity, and we want a definition.
Okay, this text says the Junkanoo parades are a dismal failure. Wow, the government should get rid of them totally. What now?
It's a dismal failure.
Get rid of them? What do you mean by that? Junkanoo parades are dull and boring now. Seen one, seen them all. There's no innovation because of these same people with old ideas.
What I don't understand is we have a lot of persons that are. I don't even know how to describe persons like that. That's probably someone that does not come to the parade or hasn't come to the parade from the 90s because they were traumatized or something like that. But we've seen the steady progression in the parades. And again, we invite the public. Tell us, what do you think we can do to make the parade more exciting? Do you want artists performing in between? Do you want us to change the time? Do you want us to lessen the amount of costumes that are on the parade? Do you want us to extend it to 4 days? Do you want the A by itself? Do you want the B by itself?
You're open to all these things?
We are open to any suggestion. We accept all suggestions. That doesn't mean that it will go through, but we want to take it to the body. This is a suggestion. Put it to the table. Let's discuss it. Let's debate it. And let's make a decision on it.
And I know this was tried before, but if there's a production team for the parade that will plan this from beginning to start with acts in between, is the JCNP open to that?
We technically, the parade management team can be considered a producer, but just not one single producer. Because it is a show that you're putting on. To put acts in between is something that I think that we've done before, and that can work, or to have a host or what have you. But we have to see it. It's got to be tried and tested. All right. We won't know it. It can't work unless you try. But again, bring the suggestions forward. We're open to them.
Let's take this final call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, Dwight.
Hi.
How do the JCNP make its money to pay the judges and stuff?
I didn't have the question.
You're very low. Say that again.
How did the JCNP make its money to pay the judges and stuff?
Well, we have I think we involved in the ticket sales, and then we do a lot of soliciting. We do a lot of begging. And speaking of that, I want to acknowledge our sponsors that support us so much. I want to thank Alive. I want to thank Bahamas Striping, because without them, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly where we would be. They have been supporters of the JCNP for a while, and every dollar that we receive from these sponsors goes a long way. And yet, with all of that, and ticket sales and other things that we're doing, fundraisers, it's not enough. But we're still putting on these parades and still going around, still asking, still trying to solicit and beg funds. So we must acknowledge and thank them.
So Oxy is a big business.
Pardon me?
Oxy is a big business.
Junkanoo is big business, right? And it should be bigger business. It's an industry that's still, after all of these years, untapped. And that's just locally. We still have a lot of things. And this is why, for the most part, we're not opposed to this bill. We just want our roles defined. That's all it is. Define what the JCNP role is. And if we're not going to have a role, and we're going to be, as Mr. Ferguson said, employees, then you're just going to have to compensate us just as everybody else is being compensated.
Okay. Caller, thank you very much.
Thank you, caller.
All right, so we've got about a minute left. Again, tell us the next step. What happens? You say you have a meeting?
The next step is as we continue to, the groups are allowed to continue to go through the bill, and JCNP goes to the bill. We're reviewing that. We're waiting to get a meeting again with the ministry and the minister, because we want to have those discussions. All while that is going on, we're going to be ratifying our rules and everything as we continue to prepare for the upcoming parades. And we're going to continue to be on pause until and vote that we're going to lift the pause and get back to our usual activities. Again, as we started off the show, we have a tribute rush for Mr. Bill Wallace on Tuesday. All groups are invited. And we want to show persons that, again, we are together in this stance. And just before we go, I have to shout out my PR team for the JCNP, Special K down there, Taj. I also want to shout out my Valley PR team, Miss O'Shea and Andres. And I must say, and Kermit, you would appreciate this, I have to say happy birthday to my mother. Her birthday is today. Mommy, I love you. Okay. Miss Elaine Williams, former principal at C.I. Gibson. I love you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. All right. Thank you so much, John Williams, for being here this morning. Yes. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
hopefully
Dwight.
this works out. Hopefully you get all the answers you're looking for, and that we can get back to Junkanoo.
Yes, we want to get back. We ready to get in the shocks.
It's practically August.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have much time.
I know. Shout out to the world famous Valley Boys. I see you guys out there. Let's go win these parades.
That's something to get. Anyway, thank you again. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a break and be back to wrap things up. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
With RBC, your idea of loving every now. Free up cash with affordable auto financing from RBC. With competitive rates and no bank fees, it's the perfect time to make every journey something special. Apply now to pre-qualify in 60 seconds at rbc.com/auto loan to shop with confidence. Conditions apply. RBC, your idea of loving your journey happens here.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it, just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Shell, you home? My gas just going out. Let me that small barbecue tank you have. I tell you long time, go get a barbecue tank from Caribbean Gas. They just got a new shipment of tanks of all sizes. Now you know they always have the best prices. Call them, Caribbean Gas, 361-6007 or 552-9597. You want to use my phone? Here, call them now.
Are you being smart about your money? Protect yourself from investment fraud and scams with these quick tips. S. Spot scams by staying skeptical and alert. M. Magnify suspicious offers. If it seems too good to be true, it usually is. A. Always authenticate sources before sharing personal info. R. Report scams to the authorities. T. Trust only licensed financial institutions. Visit centralbankbahamas.com or email exr@centralbankbahamas.com to learn more.
It's time to upgrade the way you enjoy at-home entertainment. Alive Fiber is here. Enjoy all your favorite channels and streaming apps, all at lightning-fast internet speeds with affordable bundles, and it's only a click away. Visit www.alivefiber.com to sign up now. Stay connected, live your life. It's good to be alive.
You work hard for your money, so let your money work hard for you.
With as little as $1,000 to start, you can watch your money grow by investing in CFAL's Bahamian dollar and US dollar mutual funds, each tailored to match your unique investment profile. Our expert advisors are dedicated to crafting personalized investment strategies to help you achieve your financial goals. Don't miss out on the chance to earn higher returns on your hard-earned money. Join the thousands of investors who trust CFAL and start your journey toward financial freedom today. Visit us to learn more about our saving and investment options, and let us help you build wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Neo app, Nassau, Bahamas.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Attorney General Ryan Pinder saying at an industry briefing on the Registrar General's Department's Corporate Administrative Registry Services that a digital registry for corporations and financial service providers will be adding a new feature called Cars Business. He said the shift from over-the-counter services to digital submissions through Cars for key filings such as incorporations, Register of Director filings, and certificates of good standing has reduced in-person traffic, enhanced service delivery, and improved processing timelines. Cars Business will introduce features tailored to the realities of high-volume agents and complex portfolios. Again, Cars, Corporate Administrative Registry Services. A local tech firm has partnered with the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation to assist Bahamians with finding suitable contractors for the small home renovations. Founder and Chief Executive Officer of Candace Knowles of CheckC, saying during a press conference yesterday, the platform is an all-Bahamian tech-enabled platform that connects homeowners and skilled vetted service providers in the renovation and construction space. We met CheckC on Guardian Business a few months back. And African and Caribbean countries are in the process of designing their spaces for Grand Bahama's Afro-Caribbean Trade and Expo Center, being developed by the Ministry of Grand Bahama and the African Export-Import Bank. Minister for Grand Bahama, Ginger Moxie, business on the sidelines of the Afro-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum in Grenada, explained that she had meetings planned during the forum with CARICOM Secretariat and African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat to continue to build on what her ministry and Afro-Exim Bank began more than 1 year ago. Moxie says that the creative sectors of the African countries that will have a permanent space at the Trade and Expo Center have been mobilized to produce their vision for their spaces. And as Caribbean countries begin to set up the institutions that will enable easier, more direct trade with African nations, Chairman of the Bahamas Trade Commission, Senator Barry Griffin, telling Guardian Business that the private sectors in the Bahamas and Africa have to recognize the opportunities available to them in order to scale and to succeed. Griffin says they're trying to push the private sector to look more at Caribbean products. More on his comments in today's Guardian Business section. Overseas, the Federal Reserve's preferred inflation gauge ticked higher last month in a sign that U.S. President Donald Trump's broad-based tariffs are starting to lift prices for many goods. Prices rose 2.6% in the U.S. in June compared with a year ago, according to the Commerce Department. That's up from an annual pace of 2.4% in May. Excluding the volatile food and energy categories, prices rose 2.8% in the past year, the same as the previous month, which was revised higher. The figures are above the Fed's 2% target. The uptick in prices helps explain the central bank's reluctance to cut its key interest rate this week, despite repeated demands from Trump that it do so. On Wednesday, the Fed left its key rate unchanged, or left it unchanged at 4.3%, and Chair Fed Powell suggested that it could take months for the central bank to determine whether the import duties will cause just a one-time rise in prices or a more persistent increase in inflation. And stealth submarines fitted with space-shooting lasers, supply chain sabotage, and custom-built attack satellites armed with ion thrusters. Just some of the strategies Chinese scientists have been developing to counter what Beijing sees as a potent threat: Elon Musk's armada of Starlink communication satellites. Chinese government and military scientists concerned about Starlink's potential use by adversaries in a military confrontation and for spying. They've published dozens of papers ways to hunt and destroy Musk's satellites. The Associated Press reporting that Chinese researchers believe that Starlink, a vast constellation of low-orbit satellites that deliver cheap, fast, and ubiquitous connectivity even in remote areas, poses a high risk to the Chinese government and its strategic interests. That fear has mostly been driven by the company's close ties to the U.S. intelligence and defense establishment, as well as growing global footprint. Chinese researchers are not the only ones concerned about Starlink, which has a stranglehold on certain space-based communications. Some traditional U.S. allies are also questioning the wisdom of handing over core communications infrastructure and a potential trove of data to a company run by an unpredictable foreign businessman whose allegiances are not always clear. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Wednesday. Your market movers: Consolidated Water down 8 cents, closing at $5.88. Emira Incorporated up 8 cents, closing at $11.48. The BISX All Share Index closing at 3,008.13. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. That is going to do it for us today. This final day of July 2025. We're back tomorrow with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight, Strachan, have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.